Okay, YouTube, welcome back to Dwarf Fortress 2014 with the Flying Phent. This is IronManor, episode number 42. I've made a decision. This is going to be the last episode of IronManor. I feel like it's been enough. I'm frustrated with the fact that the stress levels are not working as they are intended to be, and that they've been patched and I have no access to that. And because of that, even though, yeah, we've managed to build a fort where we could technically survive indefinitely, I think. I mean, when we look at our stocks, we have plenty of stocks. I don't think we have to worry about, you know, we could be sieged over and over and over and be fine. Especially after the next siege, right? When we're able to roof this in and be, you know, self-contained completely. And then start going ahead and working on defenses and whatnot. I think we'll be in good shape. But the fact that FPS is dropping down to 30s, you know, the 30s again, and we're getting, you know, issues with all this stress and whatnot, I personally think that's enough. So I went ahead because I was curious. I went into Dwarf Therapist. I turned on highlight cursed. If you didn't know you could do that, it's a dirty cheating thing, but I was curious because we're never going to know anyway who the vampire was. And look at this, it's our mayor, Ladamkin. Our mayor is the vampire. So good times, good times. Go Mayor Ladamkin. So here's what we're gonna do. Squads A, B, C, D. Move. Position yourselves right at the entrance. Now I'm gonna wait because a bunch of them will probably want to go and grab equipment, and because we're no longer using the danger room, we can cancel that job. Okay, now, are there, how many pickup equipments are, there's only 2 people picking up equipment. One is a smelter and one's a miner. So none of them are military folk. So let's go ahead then and open the door. Squads A, B, C, D. We are going to kill, select from list. There's a lot of them. This is the final stand. IronManor's final stand. Yeah, sure, we'll go after the trolls too. Why not? Focus fire is not something I believe in. Everybody go after a different target. Oh, we don't need to go after the badger boar. There, kill various. Now they're going to run outside, see if anyone falls into this pit while they're running across. And I'm not closing the door behind them. We'll see how they do. Well, it looks like they're not doing too bad, actually. We've killed a few. Oh, we're starting to lose some, though. We're starting to succumb to our injuries. Holy smokes. The thing is, we haven't taken on any of the orcs yet, right? So that may make a difference. I think we're discovering a lot of dead bodies while we're at it. Yeah. What do we have left? How big is our military now? The March dwarves are going down, but it looks like the axe recruits are holding strong. Although now that we've encountered the orcs, that may all change. Yeah, I don't think we still haven't lost any axe dwarves, I don't think. Although we do seem to be fighting in the water now, which is probably not a wise move. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of... My axe dwarves are no longer 100% intact. Oh no, they are. Are we actually gonna win this thing? Man, that would be epic if we won. There was like, I don't know, what was there, 5 or 6 pages of enemies I had to designate there? We might actually win this thing. Is that it? No, there's more out there. How many more, though? 1. Holy smokes. 1 troll is all that's left to kill.
There's a dwarf throwing a tantrum.
As leaves of green turn orange and red, stock up your goods.
What?
To keep you fed.
Did we actually win that? It might not be over yet. I realize the season doesn't necessarily end when everybody, you know, that would be a huge coincidence that the season ended as everybody died. But did we actually win that? We didn't actually win that. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that axe dwarves and iron gear are amazing. Who needs steel? Holy smokes. Is the last guy? No, the last guy is still there. Go to unit, and let's check his wounds, and let's watch him. Oh, we can't watch him as he dies, can we? We can revisit him often. That's Goblin Spearman. Is it because the troll's underwater? The troll is still there. Oh, but the siege is over. The siege is over because the season ended, so it does seem that sieges only last the season. The troll is still there, but we apparently can't get to the troll because of all the water. I want to reclaim all of the things from here to here, because there was some higher level there, right? So, and let's go ahead now. It's all over. We can military alert. Inactive. Everyone's allowed out of the burrow. They can come here and collect all of the things. And as soon as this troll emerges from the water, aka comes out from under the bridge, we're gonna kill him. Oh, someone go down? Someone has gone down. There's a lot of missing going on. Oh, the troll has passed out from exhaustion. I don't think my people are very good swimmers, though. What the heck was that sound? Breath of death.
Did you see what I did with this? I'm gonna hang on to this.
Come on, you guys, get in there and help this guy out. So how many... I think all of my axe recruits lived. That is amazing. How did they live? If I'd have known we could have taken them out, I would have sent them out. Lifted the siege. Oh, is the troll gonna come out? I'm going to change your orders to move orders. Move to here. Because I want them to come out of the water. Let the troll come out, and then go in after it again. Once he's come out of the water. Get out of the water. Then he's like, he's such an expert dodger that the troll can't hit him. Oh, the only successful hits that are being landed are from people that are tantruming. Come on, kill the last troll. Has he come out? He has come out. Excellent. Squads A, B, C, D. Kill. Select from list. Oh, I have a ghost as well. No problem. Kill them both. Now where's the ghost? Go to unit. He is right there. There he is. I see you, ghost. Can you kill a ghost with weapons? I don't think you can. Nope. Squads A, B, C, D. Cancel orders. You can go back to training. Now when we bury that guy, he should... his ghost should go away, I believe. Okay, so... Like I said, it's going to be the last episode. Even though we managed to lift the siege and didn't get completely decimated, there are a few things that I want to talk about. First off, the hospital, with the doctors being burrowed to it, worked really well. So what I would do next time would be, let's say we had a hospital again. You know, a hospital. Just for demonstration purposes, it's small. I would put in, like, you know, doctors' offices at the hospital. So, you know, this would be, like I said, obviously not to scale. But if this is like, you know, the patient rooms, maybe 3x3 patient rooms like I had, then I could put like 4 doctors' rooms behind them. And the doctors could each have a bedroom. Then there could be like a eating area for the doctors. And then, it wouldn't be that big, I suppose. And then a storage area for food. Right? So we could have food, we could have drink, we could have the doctor's offices, and then we could have the hospital. And what I like about this type of layout is that it means that the doctors would be completely self-contained. We would be able to tell the doctors, okay, you're burrowed into this area. Kind of like the plan was with farmers, right? We never really got around to it, but that was the whole plan. This was going to be where the farmers were going to live. They were going to have their dining room here and then a storage area, and they were all going to be stuck in this area and burrowed to this main floor. Because all of the butchering and all of the, you know, milking and stuff was all going to be done by farmers who are also going to be the planters. So I like this idea, and it's something that I think we should repeat again, but with more of the burrowing. Military, I'm not sure if burrowing the military turned out to be that useful. I get why I thought about it, but at the end of the day, and here's my thinking for it. At the end of the day, the military people, it's really hard to separate them from their beds. You know, from their partners when they, you know, if they're married or whatever, they want to share beds. So what I would likely do is put the doctors in here. If the doctors have any partners, the partners can live here, and whoever the doctors are married to, no matter how good they are at something, once we get up to like this size, will not be assigned a task. They will just be haulers. I don't care if they're like an expert armor crafter, right? Because all haulers basically need to be free to roam anywhere. That way we wouldn't have to worry about, we could put all the military and everybody else on kind of one floor. And I mean, this would be a bigger floor then obviously, but I mean, we have room. We could have fit all of our military people in here as well. So we can do that quite easily. And then anyone who has a specific task, again, the military people will be free to go anywhere because we never know where we're going to need to move them, and we need them to be unburrowed for that. So I don't really see a purpose of burrowing the military, but everyone else who isn't a hauler can be burrowed, you know, in the dining area and down to, you know, their workshop levels. And that will give them only 4 levels to move through. The exceptions will be miners and anyone who's a generic hauler. All those people will be free to go anywhere. So miners, not burrowed. Haulers, not burrowed. People that work burrowed where they live, a main dining area, and then the stairway down to their workshops and storage areas. Doctors burrowed near the hospital, right? Like in this type of a layout here. And the well obviously would be nearby here, like ideally, you know, right across a hallway or something. And then farmers burrowed in the farming area. And what I like about this is that the only crossover that you're going to have is going to be haulers who are unburrowed. And that's also going to make something like this a lot easier, because at the end of the day, you're going to say, look, if you're not a hauler, you don't do any hauling. Right? Which on one hand sounds like, well, you're not going to have enough haulers then, but on the other hand means, well, we'll just make sure we have more people left unassigned. I mean, our military could have definitely, especially Mark Dwarves, right? We didn't need Mark Dwarves. Our axe guys were so amazing, we didn't need Mark Dwarves at all. In fact, if we could have gotten, you know, kept going and gotten up to steel, I'm not sure we would have needed Mark Dwarves, period. So that's something to think about as well. I might try that in our next fort. I might try it just with axe dwarves, no Mark Dwarves at all. No ranged fighters at all. And then, so I mean, all the, you know, that would add like an extra 10 or 20 just dedicated haulers. Now, as we're building up, right, when we have like 30 people in our fort, obviously that's not feasible. Everyone's going to need to be, you know, some hauling to fill up their downtime and stuff. But I mean, once we get to like 60 or 70 people, once we get a mayor, I think that's when we should really start saying, okay, we need to have a dedicated group of haulers, like 10, 15, maybe even 20% of our fort just being haulers. A lot of the jobs that I assigned, you know, I got people and I was like, oh, well, let's have more farmers. I assigned farmers before I really needed them. So that's fine too, right? Some of these farmers could have remained haulers. Now, I like the idea that farmers are going to do the milking, the cheese making, you know, and they're all going to be isolated on the one level. I think that was a really great idea that I had. I really do. And I also like the idea of having like a self-contained pasture for all the other animals, you know, all the pets and stuff, just to get them out of the way. And once they're in here, have a non-pet passable door. So once they're shoved in here, no one bugs them, right? You can't get in and it won't cause any grief. You're not stuck with animals kind of walking all over the fort. I think that's a fantastic idea, and I'd really like to continue with that. The dogs guarding the entrance is something I'd like to do, but I think I would like to have a separate area for dogs, you know, and not store them in with all the other animals. I would like to have the dogs kind of be in their own, you know, pen pasture. And then we can animal train them and then put them on line duty when needed. I'm also not a huge fan of how this worked out. I like it in principle. I feel like I should have made it big enough to fit the dogs, so there wasn't the gap there. We should have dug this out, put the bridges in, then gone underneath and removed the ramps. You know, because the way it is now, unfortunately, there's floor underneath these bridges, and that just doesn't work out quite right. But in saying that, the reason for having this was so that ideally we could turn these into fortifications and have our, I mean, slew of archers. You can see I was originally, my thinking was we would have lots of archers. They could stand here and just shoot at all the guys that are sitting on here. But here's the problem. If we use this as a bridge that we lift, there's never going to be anybody sitting on here, right? It would make more sense to just have like a really tiny door that closes right here. You know, maybe use like floodgates or something to just clunk and lock that off so that bad guys will potentially still come in here. And to some extent, if we use like this here as our pen pasture, we could put animals down here. Well, maybe these bad guys would be dumb enough to come down here, even though this is locked off, to try and get in at our animals, and then we can archer them. But again, because I'm not planning on using archers, I don't know how useful that would be. I would still like to have some type of a protected path so that if an ambush were to only be spotted by our dogs, we can still manage to kind of close things off before they get in. And then as for like defensive towers up here, you know, twice now I've intended to kind of build some type of a defensive entryway and never did. And with the thinking that Mark Dwarves aren't going to be that good, the way to go might be, you know, if we decide to go with something like this again, would be to like put a ballistae back here that's accessed from below in a secured room, and then have like a bigger fortified wall around it, and then like the bridges that lead out this way. And then if bad guys come and they decide to advance this way, these ballistae can shoot out at them. And we could set ballistae, you know, shooting in all four directions to kind of shoot out and defend this main area. That way, even as these guys are walking around out here, especially if we put a moat around everything, we can still have siege weapons shooting them, because I'd really like to get siege weapons up and going. I keep mentioning things I've never done. I've never had a jail before. I've also never had siege weapons before. These are all things that I'd like to kind of get into using more often, and I feel like I'm not introducing them early enough. So priorities in the next fort, I think, are going to be, the first thing I want to do, well, maybe not the first thing, but one of my big priorities is going to be to get a danger room up and running. Because as much as I like to think a danger room is kind of cheating, unfortunately the military training system does still seem to be a little bit broken. So I'd like to get that up and running earlier. I'm not going to bother with archery ranges. Means a lot of this tunneling we're not going to need to worry about. The only one we're going to have to do is the storage areas, right? For animals, as well as the areas where you have a risk of miasma, like the butcher tanner area. I think that was a fantastic plan to do that there. And again, pen pastures for sheep, I think, is a great idea. But everywhere else, we don't really need to do that. I guess we're gonna have to do farms as well. But no, everywhere else, we don't really have to do that. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. I don't know where I'll embark next time. I know that I had a few other embark locations on this world that I could use. I'm also tempted to try a new world, generate a new world. And I think that's probably going to have to do, because like I said, I do want to use the most current version that has DF hack, because I know for a fact that Toady1 has commented that he has addressed the stress thing. And that's something, it took me a long time, and I think all new Dwarf Fortress players, all experienced Dwarf Fortress players can agree with me here. Learning how to keep dwarves happy was a bit of a challenge for a lot of people when you first started. It took you 3 or 4 forts to kind of get it down, and I understand why they introduced the stress, because once you knew how to keep dwarves happy, it was really easy to do. So now we're all kind of, at least for me, it's like I'm back at square one, because I don't really know how to deal with the stress. Now, like I said, it was bugged, but even with that, it's not a game mechanic that I know really well. So I definitely need to improve in that area as well, and I certainly recognize that, and that's something that we will aim for in the next series. It's going to take me some time to get it started. I'm just checking now my schedule. Let's see. This is, what episode is this? I don't even remember. I said at the start. This is episode number 42. So this is going to be going out. I'm going to do it Friday afternoon. It was originally scheduled for Friday morning, but now that we decided to end the series, it'll be Friday afternoon. So I'm thinking, start Tuesday. Let's say a week from today. Actually, how about that? So on Friday, next Friday, is when I will plan to release the next Dwarf Fortress series. We can plan to start that. That will be the 6th of February, Friday the 6th of February. That way, basically the rest of this week, I won't bother with Dwarf Fortress. And in fact, let me go ahead and mark that off right now. I say don't bother, like it's a problem. I love playing Dwarf Fortress. It's a fantastic game. And I will call it New DF. Starting Friday, that will automatically populate. Yeah, good. I got my I have a spreadsheet to track everything. Got it set up now, so everything's pretty much automatic. I enter data and it automatically repopulates across everything. So yeah, New Dwarf Fortress will start Friday on the 6th. It'll start with 2 episodes a day. The first episode will come out at 3 a.m. on Friday the 6th of February. Any suggestions on what you'd like to see at all? Any suggestions? Let me know. Like I said, here's what I'm going to do. Axe Dwarves. Screw marksmanship. I'm going to do Axe Dwarves initially. I wouldn't mind getting some Hammer Dwarves as well. If you watched... what was the one before IronManor? Night Halls. If you watch Night Hall, you know that we had done some reading in the wiki and read that hammers were very effective as well. And kind of worked well in conjunction with axes. So Axe Dwarf squad, then a Hammer Dwarf squad, and then kind of keep building that way. But my priority is definitely going to be get the melee going. So we're going to probably very soon, once we start digging things out, get a mechanic up and running and start churning out some spears so that we can go ahead and do this, get this all set up. What else? That is my top priority, to get a danger room up and running. Now we can even set up a danger room outside, right? We don't necessarily have to get in, but I think it'll be fine. I think we'll be able to get a danger room going fairly quickly. I'd like to get a hospital set up faster as well. I feel like having a hospital up and running early is better. And then I think I need to get onto the metal industry quicker. That's something that I kind of lagged in, and I typically do. I'm always like, oh, I'm not ready for metal. I'm not ready for metal. But I think I need to make metal a priority, even if it means, you know, that everybody's going to live on the farm level until such time as we're set up. That would be fine too. In this playthrough, we were slow in IronManor. We were slow getting our sleeping quarters set up also. So I'd like to not fall behind on Night Hall. We stayed ahead on that. We made sure that we had sleeping quarters ready. Always. We were well ahead. So I'd like to do that again. Keep ahead on those sleeping quarters. That was something that was too far behind as well. So I'd really like to prioritize that a little more. Other than that, though, I think things are okay. Our big issue was the stress that really started kind of hindering us. And the fact that I didn't realize my axe dwarves were strong enough to deal with these sieges. That's, you know, at least, 2 seasons that we wasted sitting around because I didn't think we could beat up these goblins. And as you saw, we handled a ton of goblins with, you know, like 14 axe dwarves. We massacred a ton of goblins, which was fantastic to see. In fact, can we see how many it was? If we go to dead, can we search? Now, granted, this was 2 of them, right? But we have 73 goblins have been killed in 2 sieges. And in fact, the first siege we didn't do anything. So we probably killed, most of these dead goblins were probably killed in this last siege. So, I mean, we probably killed 50 goblins with our 14 axe dwarves. So I really think things will go better next time. We'll have that stronger military. Won't be afraid to go out there and use them. I think at the end of the day, it's great to say, oh, we build a fort that we can lock up so we can run and hide inside. But what does that buy you? That buys you for a very boring, you know, scenario where you're sitting there closed up. I think in the early game, perhaps that's worthwhile. But, I mean, where we are, which is, I don't know, how many years has this been going now? I don't even remember what we started at. In any case, however long it's been, I think at this point, it gets kind of boring and repetitive to just lock yourself up and be like, oh, we'll dig out another floor, we'll build another room, we'll expand the hall a little bit more. So I'd really like to just have that fighting force that we can just send out. But yeah, that's all stuff we will address in the next series. Like I said, any comments at all, please let me know. It really would help me out moving forward to know what people would like to see. But if you enjoyed this video or the whole series, please leave it a like. It really does help me out. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. For now, though, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.